Rich bio. It all starts from zero. The well-known green bottled beer company began as a modest buy by a 22-year-old and has since developed into a global brand. The firm was founded on the vision of a young man and the family's will to see things through. This is the story of the Netherlands' most recognized brand, a tale of the trials and growth of one of the most popular beverages ever made, and its iconic green bottles, embellished with a red star, can be found in bars worldwide. Gerard Heineken was born in 1841, the son of Cornelis Heineken and Anna Gertruda van der Paal. Gerard's father, Cornelis, was a prosperous merchant who traded cheese and other commodities. He died in 1962, and Gerard at 21 got a sizable legacy from his father. He also inherited his father's business acumen. Shortly after his death, he discovered the Haystack, an Amsterdam brewery for sale. Gerard Adrian Heineken purchased the De Hooiberg Brewery in Amsterdam on February 15, 1864. Gerard mentioned the possible Haystack acquisition and his future intentions in a letter to his mother dated June 18, 1863. Gerard had to become an emancipated minor because of his young age to use his father's fortune to legally and independently acquire the Haystack. Anna, Gerard's mother, amassed ownership of slave plantations in modern-day Guyana and Suriname through her first marriage in 1829 to Peter Jacob Schumacher van Odorp, who died in 1833. She remarried Cornelis Heineken after Peter died, and they had 4 children. Anna passed away in 1881. According to records at the UK's National Archive, the Schumacher family had many plantations in Berbice and Suriname. In 1864, Gerard Heineken purchased the Haystack Brewery in the center of Amsterdam. Later, he rebuilt it as a cutting-edge plant near the waterfront, where he could transport goods and raw materials more efficiently. Heineken began using bottom-fermenting yeast in 1869. Gerard's growing ambition took another significant stride forward with constructing his second brewery in Rotterdam in 1873. With facilities in 2 essential port towns, the firm began to make a strong impression on the Dutch beer market. Determined to unearth what Gerard referred to as the secret of beer, the business began studying, experimenting, and deploying cutting-edge brewing methods. In 1864, Heineken created its first label for commercialization. They received the Médaille d'Or medal at the International Maritime Exposition in Paris in 1875. This was the year Heineken's sales surpassed 1.7 million liters, making it France's most prominent beer exporter. In 1883, Heineken launched its first foray into South America. Dr. H. Elion, a French scientist Louis Pasteur student, created the Heineken egg yeast in the Heineken lab in 1886. This gave Heineken its distinct unadulterated essence, shaking up the industry and scooping away multiple prizes. This yeast is still an essential component of Heineken beer. Heineken's new pure-tasting Pilsner won the prestigious Grand Prix at the Paris Expo in 1889. They began serving the restaurant at the Eiffel Tower 1 year later. In an 1889 letter to its Dutch consumers, the company stated, "It gives us pleasure to inform you that we were awarded the very highest distinction for Dutch beers at the World Fair in Paris, the Diploma of Honor." These accolades cemented Heineken's standing among the world's most prestigious producers. Their lager was the first European beer admitted into the U.S. after Prohibition was repealed in 1933. Exports to the United States increased 600% in just 4 years, thanks to a proudly Dutch beer that thoroughly embraced the American art of advertising. It began exporting to other continents in 1914 and entered Asian markets in 1929. It began to pursue foreign audiences a year before 1929. Brau Beteiligungen, established in Austria, made its first overseas purchase in 2003. Heineken was listed on the Dutch Stock Exchange by 1939. Henry Pierre Heineken, the founder's son, joined the board of directors in 1914, and 3 years later was chosen chairman of a cast-iron board of directors. Henry ran the firm from 1917 to 1940 and remained involved until 1951. Heineken established strategies to ensure consistent beer quality throughout their large-scale production during his tenure. Following World War I, the corporation began focusing more on exportation. The first Heineken cargo arrived in New York 3 days after Prohibition ended in the United States. Heineken has been one of the most successful foreign beer brands in the United States. The Freddie years were a moment of transformation for the Heineken Company. In 1971, Alfred Henry Heineken succeeded his father as chairman of the executive board, as he attempted to scale up, increasing his portfolio, and establish a genuinely global brand. His leadership oversaw a time of exceptional innovation and rapid expansion. His impact could be felt across the organization, from manufacturing to sales and marketing to the design of the signature green bottle. Heineken attempted to boost its stock price during this time by buying and shutting down competitors. Many minor breweries were purchased or shuttered after World War II. Heineken combined with its main competitor Amstel in 1968 and established a new facility in Zoeterwoude in 1975. In 1980, the Amstel brewery was shuttered, and Heineken relocated manufacturing to Zoeterwoude and Den Bosch. It was the most prominent modern brewery in Europe, with a capacity of 3.5 million hectoliters, typifying the company's growth throughout Freddie's tenure. By the time Freddie departed from the board in 1995, Heineken had grown to become the world's second largest brewer, with the broadest global reach. Freddie's pioneering efforts ranged from brewing to marketing, winning the hearts, minds, ears, and eyes of the beer-drinking globe. The first beer advertisement on Dutch television was for Heineken, with the phrase "delicious, clear Heineken," possibly written by Freddie Heineken's colleague Joop Giesink. Because of Freddie's influence, Heineken's public relations, collaborations, and famous advertising campaigns have helped it become a household name. The PR victory at Le Mans was more than just a race. A beer barrel, a car race, and a daring public relations stunt made Heineken the talk of the town at Le Mans in 1962. It was only one of several unique marketing strategies launched by the corporation over the years. Heineken transformed its former headquarters into a museum dedicated to the company's history and historic brewing processes in 1991. This property eventually became one of the most popular tourist attractions in the Netherlands and was renamed the Heineken Experience. The Heineken Experience was rebuilt and redesigned before the company's 150th anniversary in 2014 to extend its museological depth. New interactive displays and other resources have been added to the museum, thus allowing visitors to learn about the intriguing past of the Netherlands' most outstanding brewer and the processes involved in beer manufacturing. With the partial acquisition of Scottish and Newcastle in 2007 and 2008, Heineken surpassed the Belgian-Brazilian AB InBev and the British South American SAB as the third largest brewer in revenue. Heineken has become the world's second largest brewer since the Anheuser-Busch InBev and SAB-Miller combination in October 2016. On January 12, 2010, Heineken International successfully purchased the brewing section of Mexican conglomerate FEMSA and merged with it, boosting its presence throughout Latin America. FEMSA, Latin America's largest bottler and brewery, and manufacturer of brands such as Dos Equis, Bohemia, and Sol, will market the company's products there. After the early 2010 all-stock deal, he became the company's largest single stakeholder, surpassing the Dutch families of Heineken and Hoyer, who controlled 25.83%, and public shareholders, who possess 54.17%. Heineken said in January 2017 that it was in talks to purchase the Kirin Company's 12 breweries in Brazil. The following month, Heineken completed the acquisition of Brazil Kirin for $700 million. After owning half of Lagunitas Brewing Company, Heineken announced on May 4, 2017 that it would purchase the remaining half, making it the sole owner of Lagunitas. In June 2018, Heineken named Maggie Timoney as the CEO of Heineken USA, making her the first woman to become the CEO of a major United States beer supplier. Without a doubt, Heineken is now a worldwide brand. Since merging the two's greatest brewing empires, Anheuser-Busch InBev and SAB-Miller in October 2016, Heineken has become the world's second largest brewer. Heineken NV is the _1 brewer in Europe and one of the largest brewers by volume in the world, with an annual beer output of 241,300,000 hectoliters in 2019 and worldwide revenues of 23.894 billion euros in 2019. Heineken controls around 165 breweries in over 70 countries as of 2019. It employs roughly 85,000 people and produces 348 regional, local, and specialty beers and ciders worldwide. If you love this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel for more. Rich bio. It all starts from zero.